Hello friends! Let's see if any of you can guess what the following people all have in common. Ready? Elton John, Ralph Lauren, Audrey Hepburn, Jamie Foxx, Joaquin Phoenix, Miley Cyrus, Alicia Keys. If any of you guessed that they all had their names legally changed, you're a winner, especially in my book. So today, we're going to talk about how to legally change your name in the state of Florida. Don't worry, we'll mention other jurisdictions as well and what to do. Welcome back to the Divorce Broadcast. My name is Manny Segarra, coming to you from Miami, Florida. Alright, so let's jump into a topic that I find so fascinating, and that is how people can legally change their name. That's right, a lot of people are walking around right now thinking to themselves, man, I really don't like the way my name is, or the way it's spelled, or whatever the issue may be, or maybe you might want a different name. So we're going to get into how to legally change your name, but before we do, we should discuss briefly the whys, why people change their name. And the first and obvious answer is during a marriage and or a divorce, a person may want to change their name. Specifically, the person that got married may want to either assume or adopt their spouse's last name. Maybe they'll do the whole hyphenated thing, or maybe the spouses will do some sort of combination names. Whatever it is, that's what happens when people get married. They're a team now and they decide that they want to have a name that represents their family unit. Or in a divorce, the divorcing spouse who had previously adopted the other spouse's name now may never want to see that last name again and may want to get their maiden name back. So that way they don't have to look at that last name that gets them mad every time that they see it. So that is the obvious reason why some people may legally change their name. Another reason is for professional reasons, like branding or to create a distinct identity. This is found very often in the entertainment industry. Remember those names I mentioned in the beginning of the video? There are a lot of actors who have changed their names. Some examples include John Wayne, Cary Grant, Michael Caine. There are a lot of actresses who have changed their names as well, including Marilyn Monroe and Whoopi Goldberg and Natalie Portman. It's not just in the actor sphere either. There are singers who have changed their names. Who doesn't remember Prince or Lady Gaga, John Legend, Katy Perry, Bruno Mars? They have all changed their names. It's even gotten into the rap game. Ice Cube has changed his legal name. And it's not just actors and singers. There are some famous authors who have also either taken a pseudonym or changed their name as well. J.K. Rowling from the Harry Potter series, or Dr. Seuss, all of those famous books. That is not their original name either. All of those people that I've just mentioned have all legally changed their name. Furthermore, in certain situations, people may choose to change their name because of either legal or safety concerns. That's right. A great example is someone who is in a witness protection program because they cooperated with the government or the state in order to prosecute a violent individual. Also, there are people who are trying to avoid dangerous situations, like victims of domestic violence. Maybe they're trying to hide from their abuser. Also, there may be people who immigrated from a country that don't want the authorities or some of those people from the other country who may be looking for them to find them. Some people also change their name in order to reflect a change in either their cultural identity or their religious beliefs. A great example is Muhammad Ali. He changed his name due to religious beliefs. Another reason why someone may want to change their name has to do with gender identity. That's right. Transgender individuals may want to legally change their names to better align with their gender identity. It's a very important step, and then that becomes part of the bigger process of gender transition. And the final reason why people may want to choose their names is that they just don't like the name that they were given. For all their life, they were called a name that was either hard to spell, hard to pronounce, or maybe it was a common name and they're just tired of it and they want something new. In such cases, people may pick a name that they feel more comfortable with, or maybe they want to make up a name or a unique name that is more them. As people undergo specific growth and as they get older and changes in life, maybe they decide that they want a new name to symbolize their new life. Very well. So now that we spoke a little bit about why people change their names, let's talk about how to actually change your name. And in the state of Florida, unfortunately, the easiest way for a name change is during a divorce. That's right. Either in the petition or the counter petition, the spouse who changed their names, maybe they adopted the name of the spouse that they're getting a divorce from, simply has to ask the court to give them a name change. It's something that's pretty easy. And at the end, when you get divorced, the final judgment will include the name change. That is Florida. I invite all of you to check your local state statutes to determine what is necessary in each of your particular states. There are some states that require to put in certain language that the person who is attempting to change the name is not trying to avoid creditors or people that they owe money to. So it's very important to check your local jurisdiction. What's great about getting a name change during a divorce is that you don't have to come back later. That's right. You're already in court anyway. You're suffering through sometimes this miserable divorce process. You might as well get it all over with and get your name changed. But in the event that you mess up or somehow you forgot about changing your name, or maybe you got divorced and a couple months later you're like, oh, I regret it, I want to change my name, you should check your local rules to see if there's something that you can do. In Florida, unfortunately, you would have to file a subsequent name change petition, which we're about to get into. In the other jurisdictions, I know that some states allow for a subsequent either ex parte motion or an application for name change after the divorce, which is great because if you get divorced, you're walking around and you have an epiphany a year later saying that you want to change your name, you can come back and get it changed easy peasy. In Florida, you're gonna have to start all over. So it's very important that if you really want to change your name, that you get it done the first time around. I'm gonna give everyone a practice tip. If you decide to get a divorce in Florida and change your name, make sure when you get that final judgment, you get about 2 or 3 certified copies, because you're going to need those when you bring them to the different agencies to try to change your name. Those are official court documents, and that's what's going to get it done. So if anyone wants to change their name in the state of Florida, they will have to file a petition for name change. A great example of this is Florida Supreme Court approved Family Law Form 12.982 subsection A. A link to that particular form will be added to this video below. That is a sample petition for adult name change. As you review this form, you will see that when you're filing a petition for name change, the court is going to ask for a lot of information in this petition. This includes family information, any former names that you're known by, your occupation, your education, your business, if you've had any bankruptcies, if you've had any type of creditors or judgments entered against you, and if you have any type of criminal record. It is all in this form. I invite you all to check it out prior to filing. Now, let's talk about some of the documents that will be necessary or needed in the event that someone is seeking to have a name change. The first of which is a birth certificate. That's right. They're going to have to present a birth certificate from either one of the 50 states or U.S. territories. If it is from a different country, then a passport and corresponding immigration documents will be necessary. Documents that show that the person is either a legal resident or a citizen of the United States. Also, the person will have to show a driver's license to show that they meet the residency requirements of the state of Florida. If the person was either divorced or adopted or had a previous name change through a court ruling before, they will have to also show a certified copy of that previous name change. Up next, the person will have to conduct a bankruptcy search, meaning that they will have to contact the local or their particular bankruptcy court and ask them to run the records and send a certificate that there are no pending bankruptcies. This is very important because one of the reasons that you will get denied from having a name change is if you're trying to avoid bankruptcy. You can always find the particular branch of the bankruptcy court by looking online and trying to determine where that is compared to where the person lives. A very similar step is that there are proof of no money judgment or creditors. A lot of of times the person that is seeking a name change will have to go to the local clerk of court and have them print out either a record showing that there are no judgments against them, or if that particular clerk gives a certificate, some proof from the clerk that there are no pending judgments or creditors. Because remember, one of the other reasons that you may get a name change denied is if you have creditors that you're trying to avoid. In the event that there are or is a money judgment that's found, then the person who is seeking the name change will have to provide that creditor with the information about their name change. So it's a very important step when the person is searching whether or not they have proof of any creditors or money judgments. And the final step, at least in the state of Florida, is that the person who is seeking a name change has to have a criminal records search done on them. This usually entails that the person having to go to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and getting all of their fingerprints taken. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement will then run a records search to make sure that this person doesn't have any prior felony convictions or any pending cases at the moment that they're trying to change their name. Remember, if someone has a prior felony or pending criminal cases, they're probably going to get their name change petition denied. So try to avoid that if you're trying to change your name. Remember that each jurisdiction is different, so make sure that you check out your particular jurisdiction to see what the different processes are in those. Now, a quick recap for someone who wishes to file a petition for name change in Florida. They'll file the petition for name change, making sure to have their birth certificate or passport, their driver's license to make sure that they're a resident of the state of Florida. They will do their record search to make sure that they don't have any bankruptcies, money judgments, and to make sure that there are no past convictions of felonies or pending crimes. If all that is good to go, the court will probably enter a final judgment of name change, giving that person their brand new name. Now, once that person has that brand new shiny name, what should they do? Well, don't celebrate yet. They need to march down to the Social Security Department to make sure that they update their Social Security card. If they have an employer, let the employer know so that their pay stubs or W-2s and their W-4s are updated accordingly. They should go to their financial institutions like their bank or their credit card companies to make sure that the new name is reflected there. If they have children, make sure the children's school knows about the new names. If they are in school, make sure that their educational institutions have their new name. Any financial aid offices should have the new name. When they're done doing all of that, they should go and run up a mountain and shout to anyone and everyone that will listen their new name, their new identity, because they have finally made it. They have a new name officially. So go tell the whole world. All right, so that's a wrap on legally changing your name in the state of Florida. If any of you know some aspiring actresses or actors or entertainers that may want to legally change their name, have them look us up at www.segarralawfirm.com. We have offices in Miami and Orlando, Florida. Se habla español. Please do us a favor and like this video, subscribe to the Divorce Broadcast, and leave us some comments with some suggested names. It'd be great to hear what everyone has to say. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.